I'm 28 years old and I've struggled with weed addiction for the last 10 or so years. It all started when I was 14 years old. Before I speak about when the first time I smoked weed was, I want to give a little backstory about the type of person I was before I smoked weed. You see, I was that kid that always said I was never going to smoke weed or drink alcohol just to throw all of that out the window at the very first chance that I got. Well, not the very first chance, but pretty early on because I smoked weed for the first time in the ninth grade. It was 420, and I was smoking with all of my ninth grade homies and all the 10th grade homies. I think it was about like 20 guys on a couple of joints on 420. Definitely an eventful day indeed, but I didn't really get high from that spliff. I think a lot of people don't get high the first time that they smoke. But I did end up getting really high the second time I smoked was with which was just a couple of months later, and that was with my cousins. And so from there, I smoked here and there, not too often in the 10th and the 11th grade. But in the 12th grade, I started smoking a whole lot more because all of my homies started smoking a whole lot more too. And keep in mind, I'm already drinking alcohol at this age as well, right? So in the ninth grade, I smoked weed and drank alcohol, and the usage is ramping up for both gradually. By the time I get to the 12th grade, this is where I'm actually doing it all the time. I'm coming to class drunk, I'm coming to class high, whatever the case may be. But I'm still an honor roll student. So in my head, I'm thinking, you know what, it's not that bad because I'm getting good grades. Because I've always been a straight A student, I would say. And the only reason why is because when I was a kid, my parents would always buy me video games if I had good grades. So in my head, I was like, as long as I get good grades, they're never going to be mad at me or be on my case about anything. So, and that was exactly the case, right? So even though I was smoking weed and drinking alcohol, I was still getting good grades, so they didn't really have much of a problem with what I was doing. And I thought in my head, it's okay too. And so let's fast forward a little bit to post secondary. So I went to university. I'm here in Canada, so I went to university and all my homies are still smoking now. Actually, we're smoking way more now at this point because it's becoming more acceptable. And by the time I'm in university, I think within the first or second year, weed got legalized here in Canada too. So whoop-de-doo, now everybody's doing it. It's got normalized. And now everyone's thinking it's fine, blah, whatever. And I actually think after it got legalized, the weed definitely got worse. Now that's a topic for another day. But I personally, I think it got worse, man. I think that they put something in that weed, the government weed. But I digress. Anyway, so I started smoking a whole lot more. COVID came around too, and during COVID, I cannot lie, this is where my weed usage really ramped up. Me and the homies started smoking a whole lot more. Instead of smoking at the end of the day after all my tasks were done, now I'm smoking in the morning, you wake and bakes, whatever the case may be, smoking multiple times a day, smoking all the time, really. And this is where it really starts to affect your day-to-day lifestyle, right? This is where you start to get lazy and lethargic and you lose motivation to do things. I've always been into fitness, so I've never been fat and lazy. I've never been a fat, lazy slob. But at the same time, so this is where I'm rationalizing in my head because I'm thinking, hey, I'm not a fat, lazy slob. I go to the gym and I work out and blah, yada. This is how I rationalize in my head, like weeds over me. But in actuality, I was kind of nerfing myself, right? I was nerfing myself from my true potential, and slowly but surely, when you smoke every day, multiple times a day, eventually you start to realize, or you get that epiphany moment where you're just like, wow, life's not hitting the same anymore. You no longer get high from the weed. And you just come to that realization that, hey, man, I need to slow this down, or I need to at least cut back. And this moment came for me and all the homies as well, because we would have multiple conversations about, hey, bro, we need to cut down. We need to quit weed. And we would always say this, but we'd continue to smoke, which I know a lot of you watching this right now, if you smoke weed, you definitely have been through all of these cycles. This is natural. This is the consensus I get from anyone that smokes weed, really. So I just know that a lot of you can relate to what I'm saying. But so I would be on and off weed. In the last 2 years, I've definitely had some time off. I think I went about 2 or 3 months, maybe 2 years ago. This is when my mom got an autoimmune disease. Maybe 3 years, no, 3 years ago. My mom got an autoimmune disease and she's been bedridden ever since. And so when it first happened, I really snapped in my head like I need to stop smoking weed because like shit just got serious. And so I stopped smoking weed then, but then eventually I came back to it and still went back to daily usage. And from there, from the last 3 years, I've definitely smoked here and there, whatever. I've smoked pretty much daily, but I would smoke at the end of the day, still trying to tell myself that it's okay because I'm gonna do all my tasks for the day, and then at the end of the day, I'm gonna smoke this weed. But of course, it kind of kept creeping up on me, and eventually it would get bad once again. So now, fast forward all the way to future to the present time, which is just about now. I'm about 44 days free from weed. And some of the benefits that I've experienced being 44 days free from weed is that one, I have a clearer mind. When I smoked weed before, especially daily, listen, you could smoke weed, and if you're not smoking it daily, you can definitely enjoy it. But I was one of the people that was just abusing it. I would literally wait. I would wake up, do everything I need to do, but I would be fiending for that weed. I could not wait until I reach the end of the day where I can light up that joint. And I know a lot of you can definitely relate to what I'm saying. So I definitely have a clearer mind when it comes to thinking. I'm thinking a whole lot sharper when it comes to day to day. This wasn't the case when I first got off the weed. It was maybe a week after where I started to notice these benefits. Number two is I got way better sleep. You think that when you smoke weed that you sleep well, but in actuality, it's scientifically proven that your sleep quality decreases. And since I was smoking weed for 10 years, I was one of those people that thought weed helped me sleep better. But realistically speaking, when I got off of it recently for these last 44 days, first week was a little tough. I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of like waking up in my sleep randomly. I don't know if I got really any night sweats, or I don't think I had much withdrawal symptoms, but I definitely had a hard time sleeping in the first week. But after that, oh boy, my sleep quality improved immensely, man. And my dreams came back, and the intense dreams, I kid you not, the dreams are just are really cool, man. So especially when you've been smoking for 10 years and you haven't dreamt for 10 years, think about that. Like when your dreams come back, it's pretty exciting. Number three is more energy. I definitely feel way more energetic when it comes to my day to day. Weed definitely makes you feel lazy. I know there are certain people that can be really active when they're on or smoking weed, like Wiz Khalifa, for instance, but that's like one in a million kind of guy, man. And I am not that guy. And there's a good chance that you are not that guy too. Number four is definitely it's easier to socialize. When you smoke weed, you just want to isolate and kick it with the homies, and maybe you'll be cool speaking with the homies. But when you're out in public, let's say at a grocery store or at the gym, you're less inclined to actually speak or say hi to the receptionist, or you just have those daily random conversations with people. So it's definitely been easier to say, hey, how's it going? How's your day? Stuff like that, just in passing, of course. Number five, I stopped rotting. Now, this is a big one, man, because when you smoke weed, sometimes I would have a plan of what I was gonna do. I'm gonna watch a movie or I'm gonna play this game. But more times than not, what would happen is I'd smoke a joint and then I would come home and just rot in my bed, just doom scrolling. And it's not like I wanted to do this. It's not like I had any intention to do this, but sometimes you just find yourself doing that, man. And that happened a lot, especially in the last 2 to 3 years. Listen, that might just be due to the fact that social media has gotten so much more addictive, and it's so much easier to pick up your phone than it is to actually do something like play a video game or watch a movie. But I noticed that when I stopped for the last 44 days, it's been easier to be more productive and catch myself from rotting. And number six, I look a whole lot healthier in terms of, especially my lips, because I would smoke with grubba. I don't know if you guys are grubba smokers or not. It's basically tobacco, and you put that in your joint and then you smoke that up. That would definitely make my lips darker than a normal joint would. And since I've been smoking for 10 years with grubba, it's definitely done damage on my lips. And my lips used to be super pink, but then it turned really dark and had really bad oral health. But slowly but surely, it's starting to improve, which I'm happy to see, to be honest. And now, with all this being said, all these benefits that I've seen so far, it's only been 44 days. I'm sure I'm going to see more and more benefits as the days go by. I'm not against smoking weed again in the future. Listen, I would love to smoke a joint here and there. I never want to get to daily usage again because I just feel like that's too toxic for me at this point in my life, man. I have too many responsibilities to take care of for me to just rot away smoking weed all the time. So I'm not against it. I know there are a lot of benefits, and I do think if you are able to smoke in moderation, then it's very beneficial, and it's also a lot of fun too, right? But once you start abusing it, it loses the essence, and it just becomes like an anchor. And I know now that I'm 44 days off of it, yes, it does get boring sometimes. But if you schedule your time appropriately, then you will get over that hump. And listen, I want to be more productive anyway, right? So this is the direction that I'm heading in. And if there's anything that you can take from this video, if you are watching this video and thinking, I also have a problem with smoking weed, then I would definitely recommend that you also take a break. Listen, don't think of it as quitting, just think of it as a tolerance break at the very least. See how you feel after a week, because after a week, if you start to feel better, there's a good chance that you'll be much more motivated to just quit altogether because of the benefits that you're seeing, right? But yeah, that's my little rant about how I feel about, or how I feel after 44 days of no weed. If you guys, let me know what you guys think. Are you guys struggling with the same things that I have been struggling with? Are you guys looking to quit? Or maybe you don't want to quit? Let me know in the comments below. It's been a pleasure. Peace out.